You have the capacity to ascend into the fifth dimension right now, right here. You have the capacity to choose your own personal timeline right now, no matter what the collective is doing. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Let's go. You are divine. Beautiful children of the stars. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, we can ascend into the fifth dimension right now. What do you think I'm doing? Where do you think I am? This is what I'm doing for work. This is my 5D workplace. Does this look like a 3D office to you? Take a look around. I'll just show you. Look at this. Look at this. My little plants. My hobblety-scobblety but beautiful yard here. This is my summer office, you see. I've got hummingbirds. I've got frogs. I've got my cat Leo right here. Does this look like a third dimensional workplace? No, I'm standing in 5D right now, okay? And I'm going to explain to you exactly how I did this and how you can do this too in this video. Make sure you're subscribed because we're doing awesome content right now, really relevant, important content, especially for the light workers, for the star seeds, for anyone who wants to have a good life. For anyone who doesn't want to participate on this very negative timeline that we are apparently going into in the collective. All right, so make sure you subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you are notified. I will be doing some live Q&As soon as well. I'm getting so many questions from all of you. Okay, so that being said, let us dive in. Mwah. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so timelines. 3D, 5D, how you can actually jump onto a 5D timeline right now. I've talked a lot about this, but today I'm going to explain exactly how timelines work. Okay, so let's start with this. Let's get a little closer to the board. Can you see it? Okay, a little blackboard. Let us start by looking at timelines. If you haven't watched my last few videos, please go ahead and do so because it's a good basis, a good foundation for all of this. So we are here on our beautiful Mother Earth. This is, let's say, 3D Earth. Okay? Airplanes. The airplanes are flying again. 3D Earth, which we are standing upon right now, physically. Right? Do we all agree? 3D Earth. We look around, what's going on, all the horrible things that are happening, the cabal, negative soul groups, the positive, the light and the dark, the complete and utter duality at its finest being shown to us. This is what we're seeing every day, right? So we are still standing physically on 3D Earth as a collective. So I'm gonna explain there's a huge difference between the collective and individual people, right? So let's go back in time a little bit. Let us go back in time and say the Earth was formed and started the spiral of time, which I explained in a video. I'm going to link it right up there. You have to watch that video, the spiral of time, that explains how time moves forward. How time is actually a really, really important factor in our perception of reality. So let's say 3D Earth was born. 1D, 2D, 3D. There are plants, there are animals. The humans are starting to develop themselves. There is Lemuria, there is Atlantis, there are the civilizations, okay? So let us start off with this timeline like this, okay? Time starts. And this is the collective timeline, okay? From 1D, 2D, 3D, the third dimension is round about here and starts going higher in vibration. Lemuria! Lemuria fell. Ooh, we go down. We go down. We go up again. Lemuria fell again. Okay, look at this timeline. See how crazy this is. Are you seeing this? We get raised up again. Big project Atlantis. All the star seeds come down again to help us. Atlantis and Atlantis fell. Ooh, we didn't make it. We didn't make it. Now we're going through another cycle. We are raising our vibration, our consciousness. All of you beautiful starseeds, children of the stars, are here now incarnated to recreate Atlantis, to try to get us up again, to see maybe can we really make it? Can we make it into the fifth? The color blue is the third dimension, by the way. Third dimension. Oh no, I got it the wrong way around. Okay. We gotta switch it. We gotta switch it. This is switched. This is switched. So 3D now is blue. Okay, 3D is blue. Gosh. You're very intelligent. I know I'm not confusing you. And 5D is red. Okay? 5D is red. Oh, shucks. I had it all worked out so perfectly right here. 5D. Can you see that? All right, so this is 3D Earth. Okay, obviously. I just thought blue was more like of a higher color. But that's okay. Let us have the 5D be red like love. The vibration of love and above. Okay? All right, so here we are. Now, the starseeds are here. You are here. You're raising the vibration. The cabal, like once before, twice before, thrice before, is trying to bring us down again. Right? The cabal. Let's make the little devil face again. Right? Negative soul groups trying to pull us down. Right? Strike after strike after strike. Right? The pandemic. The riots. Everything. All this confusion. All these things. Is it good? Is it bad? The light. The dark. Bad strikes being made. The forces of light trying to bring this up and create something positive out of it. Almost succeeding. Another strike, right? This is what's happening. We're in a broiling mass. We're in a soup of good, bad, timelines all going crazy. We'll get to that. But this is what's happening. Confusion. Confusion. The cabal trying to bring us down with confusion, fear, lies, strike after strike. We know this now. What's happening now? Let's see. This is where we are. So, we're here. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Now this is where I want to stop for a moment and take a look at the whole thing. So, if we can see the timeline of the collective of Mother Earth going up and down, you know, trying to go into the fifth dimension. Now, let us blow our minds a little bit in this video, okay? Let us go. We're ready for it. And this is a download I got at 3 a.m. 2 days ago. I know that we as individual humans not only have one lifetime on Earth in this very life. Obviously, we have many, many incarnations, right? We have incarnation after incarnation for the growth of our soul, for our individual purposes, right? But in each lifetime, we actually split into several timelines. So me, Natasha, I exist around 6 times on this planet right now, in 6 different timelines. So each time a person comes to a very important choice, it's like, okay, let's say you meet someone and they ask you to marry him, right? If you're a woman. Or if you're a man, let's say you're about to marry someone and you're about to marry and something happens and you don't. But you could have. Then what happens? Then the timeline, your personal timeline splits. Whoop, boop. Another one of you pops out in a different existence and reality, and that one marries the person and this one doesn't marry, right? So your timelines have split because you as a multidimensional soul, and this is like multidimensionality going sideways, not upways and downways. We know we are multidimensional. We live in 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D. We live in different dimensions. We have different past lives, but we also have a sideways multidimensionality. So boom, 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 boom. We actually split into 6 different realities, timelines, parallel lives. This is what parallel lives are. So in this one you married the guy, in this one you didn't. And both of you continue forward because both of you want to have that experience. So often when things are on the fence, when things are like, like very close. Should I, shouldn't I? It's like a minute thing that makes you say yes or no. Those choices are when you split. And according to my knowledge at the moment, right? Obviously, this is my perspective. As always, take what resonates. What doesn't is totally fine, right? It's totally fine. You have your knowledge and your reality, which may be a little bit different than mine, right? But according to what I know, we have 6 different ones. Boop, 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 boop. 6. So 6 different Natashas are living here on this globe right now. I wonder what that one's doing. I wonder what that one's doing, right? So I got the download that our dear and glorious Mother Earth does the same thing. Our Mother Gaia is a living, breathing planet, is a soul, is a being. Planets are beings, we know this. Stars are beings. Almost everything that you see is actually alive and has its own life cycle. So, our Mother Earth also has multiple timelines. She is living. That's why we talk about the timeline split and the timelines. So this is to help you understand this. So let's say that our beautiful Mother Earth, let's say there's 6 to make it simple. There may be more, there may be millions and billions, but we're talking collective timelines. Obviously, think about this. If our Mother Earth has collective 6 timelines, each person who is born has 6 timelines in each life, and each person has a different timeline. How many billions and billions of timelines are there in existence to do with Mother Earth? It's a lot, right? So let's say our Mother Earth started on one timeline, Lemuria, and something happened. Something happened in Lemuria that caused Lemuria to fall, okay? So let's say whatever happened, let's say the Draconians came, the reptilians or other negative soul groups as well came, started infiltrating. And those small choices that the initial human race that was there, Illyrian race, right? That was on the planet, the little humans here, right? Standing on the earth, populating the earth, paradise on earth, beautiful earth. Let's say they made the choice to not accept, to not create, to not perpetuate, depending how you see reality, the negative ones. So let's say the negative ones came to infiltrate Earth. And let's say that in this timeline, they succeeded. The humans accepted them. The humans made choices that they were able to do this, right? Whatever happened there. That's this timeline that we're on right now. Let's say that this was the first split of the collective timeline, that the humans said, no, no, go away. We don't want you. We're not going to let you infiltrate. And let's say this was the time for the evolution of the planet to automatically go up in density. So let's see here. This is the timeline split. This is where our Mother Earth made her first choice. The humans on the planet being part of her, where it was the bad ones came, the Lemurians said no, no, and those ones actually managed to continue the natural evolution into 5D. The other ones accepted the bad guys, the other ones let themselves be infiltrated. So instead of going to 5D, they went down again. Boom. But let's say that now, right here, there is 2 Mother Earths. We are on this one because this is what we're perceiving, but there's another timeline that did ascend. Imagine that. So on this timeline, Mother Earth ascended. Boom, 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 boom. And now, since already, okay, let's go all the way here. Let's go all the way up here. If we're here right now, okay, this is time. Let's see, do I have some white chalk for time? Yes. Let's say this is time. Okay, time. This is year 0. This is year 2020. 2020. This is Lemuria, the fall of Lemuria 1, the fall of Lemuria 2, the fall of Atlantis 1, 2020. What's going to happen now? Can you imagine that at the same time we already have another version of Earth who wanted to experience herself as an ascended being, the Lemurians who wanted to experience themselves as 5D beings. Can you imagine that right now over there, hello, there's a 5D Earth with the Lemurians now being a really high, beautiful 5D civilization, living in peace and harmony. Maybe they're even 60. Can you imagine? Or 70. I mean, this was quite a long time ago, like really a long time ago. Depending which theory you follow, 50,000 years, 100,000 years, 500,000 years, a long, long time ago. So can you imagine that on this version of Earth, let's say that Mother Gaia was able to reach 5D, right? 5D was reached here. That's still 5D. Let's say 6D was reached here on this timeline. 7D. So there's a beautiful planet, Earth, in a parallel reality of herself, living in 7D right now. Right? That's possible. So it's like, so why did we have to stay on this timeline? But that's not all. One timeline, two timelines. Let's say that at the second rise and fall of Lemuria, at that point, the Lemurians were smarter. They learned from the first one, and they were able to reject that influence, that infiltration. They were able to resolve it. Victory of the light proceeded. And this timeline split again. There. So there's a second one, right? A second ascended timeline where maybe we are, oh, look at this, look at this. Oh, did you see? Huge butterfly. Did you see it? Wow. I am in 5D. This is 5D. Flowers and butterflies and hummingbirds. Okay? So this is another version of Mother Gaia, maybe in 5D. Okay? So we already have 1, 2, 3 timelines. Let's say there's another timeline here. Let's say Atlantis didn't fall on this timeline but went up. But let's say that something happened and it went down again. Ooh. You know? So that is another timeline, 5D, then 4D. Now, let's take this a little bit further here. Right now, what's happening? What is happening here? So, we are now at another timeline split. And that is what I have perceived. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 timelines to go. So right now, we are at a point, a really important point. This is point X. This is point X in the history of our Earth, where we, who have chosen to incarnate on this timeline of Mother Gaia, let's name these. Okay, this is timeline 1. Okay, this is timeline 1. This is timeline 2. This is timeline 3. This is timeline 4. We're at timeline 1. So we're now at a point where the timelines are splitting again. So let's take this over here to illustrate this. So this is timeline 1, continuing, okay? Timeline 1. So, this is what's happening. You see this? This is us, starseeds. This is us ascending human beings, ascending souls in the human bodies that are now attempting to split the timeline and not make it fall again. Because imagine what happens here. What's the possibility? Explosion, right? This is possible. It's a possible timeline. I mean, look at what's going on in the world. So it is possible that there is a split of the timeline where the Cabal will win, where they will truly take over, where they will eradicate the human race, where the planet will blow up. Okay? Let's say this is timeline 2, 3, 4, 5. Timeline 5. Right? And what's happening now? You see, I drew this as a smaller one because there are still not that many people awakened as there are asleep. So what's happening now is we are here. We are right here. We are at the timeline split where we want to experience a 5D Earth. Again, just like in all these other timelines, right? We want to experience this. We want to go up. So this is exactly where we are. And this is where you come in. You beautiful starseed. This is where you come in. So let's take a look at this more closely. How exactly? That's the question. How do we get on this timeline? What do we do? How do we manage this? Because this point, okay, the splitting of the timeline points right here, right here, right here, and right here. These are chaotic times. I mean, look at that. These are chaotic times because the 3D and 5D timeline, they are splitting, but they're still together, right? Our Earth, this is actually, if you can see this one, this is Earth. Earth is now standing in both, and they are both, they're splitting. So we are being pulled down, we are being pulled up. Another way to see it is this. Another way to see it is like this. If this is the Earth, let's draw it here. If this is the Earth, okay, let's see, the 3D was blue, and we're a 3D person. The third dimension, which is a density, which is an energetic way of being, right? Where there is a lot of duality, where sadly on Earth, because of the infiltration, we have created pretty much a hellish place in some ways, right? Would you agree? So this is 3D. And what actually happens, and this is really important, pay attention. What actually happens when we step into a higher density, a higher timeline, when we split, we're talking here about the collective timeline, when we split our own timeline, what actually happens is we expand and we become a different energetic being from within. So what happens is we actually grow. We go like this. We go like this. Okay? You see? We're expanded. We have a higher vision. Funny little guy. I'll put a hat on him. We have an expanded vision. But you see what's going on here? We have our 3D self still within us. The higher dimensions hold all the other dimensions within them. Just like if you're a child and you grow up, the child, that who you were, is still within you. It's part of you. It's still you. You've just grown. And that's what happens. The little 3D person down here that has a very limited view, that can't look over the top, hello, I'm here in 3D, grows and starts being more open, more expanded, and starts being a higher, a better, a more expanded version of your 3D self. So your 5D self is doing the ascension by changing the vibration from within. So it's not like, when are we going to ascend? Oh my God, is someone going to come down and pluck us from our 3D little consciousness and bring us up? No, that's not going to happen. It's you who does the work. It's you who from within, through expanding your consciousness, through living a 5D life, through understanding, expanding your mind, through raising your vibration. All these practices that we always talk about, raise your vibration, do the gratitude, get a perspective of a more expanded viewpoint, not the little 3 perspective, because look, the little 3D perspective is very limited. It's very dualistic. You're bad, I'm good, right? Good Trump, bad Trump. Let's trigger ourselves just a little bit more, okay? Let's do some triggering here. All right, let's do it. Dualistic point of view. Good Trump. Good Trump. Bad Trump. All right? This is how the dualistic mind, the 3D mind, sees things. This is good, this is bad, right? This is evil, this is good. I mean, and it is true. That's the thing, it is true. From a 3D point of view, three-dimensional point of view, you watch the media, you have your opinions. Some people say, no, Trump, he's horrible, look what he's doing, he's not good. From another viewpoint, oh, he's the savior, right? That is still a very dualistic point of view. Now, once you get a more expanded point of view, you see all sides. Once you step into a more expanded vision, then maybe you can see, okay, talking about Trump, you know that last time I went into the Akashic Records and I saw, Trump is not like maybe the nicest, the best guy in the world. The way he does things, maybe not, or maybe he's not portrayed that way. But at the moment, in a more expanded point of view, he is actually doing more for the liberation of the planet, working against the cabal. He's doing his own thing, he's working against them than anybody else, right? So looking at these two viewpoints from an expanded point of view. Now, let's go even further. Let's go further. From your expanded point of view, perhaps Trump made some choices and split his own personal timeline. Maybe 10 years ago, Trump came to a point in his life where he could choose either to go for the liberation of the planet, to start, trying to perpetuate more positivity and work for the forces of light. And maybe another timeline of Trump personally was, no, I'm going to just do my own thing. I just want to buy into the third dimensional way of being with money and greed and power. I want to just keep doing that, or I want to really, really do that, right? So perhaps our dear Trump actually did split. Actually, there's two timelines. And actually, depending who you are and what viewpoint you have, you see the good Trump on one timeline and the bad Trump on the other timeline, and both are true. Maybe that is even the case. You see where I'm getting? So, at a third dimensional way of seeing, you say, oh, Trump is good, Hillary is bad. Just as an example, down here you're saying, oh, look at this, Bill Gates is the devil, right? But what if all these people on our collective timeline still, right here, on our collective timeline right here, what if all these people made choices in their lives and they split their own timelines? Maybe there is a timeline where even Bill Gates is a really good guy. Maybe when he was young, instead of meeting a draconian Melinda Gates, who kind of pulled him in even more, instead of meeting her, what if he had met a beautiful, loving Pleiadian woman and married her, Bill Gates, who was really positive and trying to help liberate the planet? Maybe on one timeline he did meet that Pleiadian woman and she really turned him around and he started working for the forces of good. What if that is a timeline that is also here? And what if some people are on that timeline? What if there is another collective small sub-timeline? I see it as right now there being small collective sub-timelines. Maybe there are 6 sub-timelines, right? And in one of them, maybe Trump is the good guy. Maybe Hillary won the election. Remember the elections? It was a very strange thing, that election. You have to admit it was a very strange and wondrous thing. Trump won, Hillary lost. Trump is the good guy now, liberating the planet. What if on another timeline, Trump had opted to be bad, Hillary had opted to be good? What if she had won that election on that other timeline? And now there is a timeline where Hillary is president and where Bill Gates is the good guy and where the cabal have already been eliminated. I'm just saying, guys, okay? So, depending on what timeline you chose, what reality is true for you, is how you see things. So once you start seeing everything from an expanded fifth dimensional viewpoint. Things are not so black and white anymore. And once you are at a fifth dimensional viewpoint, then you can start being independent from that collective third dimensional timeline or all those sub-timelines that are happening. And things are crazy. You don't know what to believe because there are many sub-timelines that are merging. And as soon as you start getting a higher perspective, you start perceiving all these little sub-timelines. That's why you don't know what to believe anymore, right? What I said last time, George Floyd, what happened? Is he the real one? Is he not? How did the whole thing go down? Why are there so many people believing and stating and proving different things? It's because there are different sub-timelines that you as a fifth dimensional being, because you're a starseed, you are shifting into a fifth dimensional viewpoint. You are seeing and perceiving all these different timelines, like going like this. That's what's happening. You are able to see more than just one black and white, little simple truth, because that's what the 3D person does, and it's simpler. Life is so easy. You know, the good old days. Remember the good old days when you were a child and life was so simple. You knew what was what, right? Life was simple. That was a good guy. That is a bad guy. I like eating this. I don't like eating that. Things were simple. But as we, from our child stage of the third dimension, grow into an expanded adult, more ripe, more expanded viewpoint, things are not simple anymore. Life gets a little complicated. And you start to perceive reality in a different way. I mean, think about it. Think about people arguing. One person has one viewpoint, one person has the other viewpoint. Have you ever been in an argument where you actually see both people's perspectives and both people are right, but each one thinks the other is wrong? That is already a fifth dimensional way of seeing things. And now looking at this good Trump, bad Trump, right? I'm sure you saw my slight disdain when I said, oh yes, Trump is working for the forces of light now. It's because I kind of saw and perceived the other timeline too. I did, right? When I did that live chat, the epic live chat, when the video didn't load, who watched that? Who was there? Remember I did a few Starseed Origins there while we were waiting? Remember I did Hillary? Those who weren't there, I'll tell you. Hillary, from what I saw in the Akashic records, is a Sirian soul, but she has a second influencing soul in there. And I don't believe that soul has been in there for long. That's a draconian soul that has a smaller influence, but an influence there, right? That's what I saw. So from that perspective, in that timeline that we're in right now, I saw her as a Sirian. I always thought, yeah, she looks like a Sirian soul, like her character, her personality, everything is very serious, all right? Serious, not serious, serious. Okay, from what I know of Sirians, no matter if you think she's good or bad, like don't start saying, no, but she's a demon. Just, we're thinking 5D right now. But there was there is a secondary infiltration in there. So I feel that on this timeline that we're seeing now, she has opted to open herself up to being a little more brainwashed by the Cabal's power structures. She has opted to go into that direction to support the mainstream, which is very Cabal oriented. Maybe she's even entered into a few contracts. And if you enter into too many contracts that are negative, you start getting entities, you start getting infiltrations, you start getting possessed, being possessed. And if you have a second soul in there, it is a kind of a possession, right? It's another soul overtaking your incarnation partially. That's why some of you said, oh, she must be draconian. Sorry, let me just fix this. Oh, my beautiful little hair clamp. My hair is falling apart. So, you see, this is what's happening in that timeline. Good Hillary, bad Hillary. Maybe she used to be a good Hillary. Maybe now she's chosen in one of her timelines to go with the Cabal. And that's why being more and more brainwashed, saying yes more and more to the negative forces, you start getting entities, you start getting things infiltrating you, right? So in this timeline that we're seeing right now, for the liberation of the planet, that's what I saw. But I also see this one. I perceive that other timeline, and I see that part in him. So that's the thing. So I want you to not drive yourselves too crazy and get too confused. If you're starting to perceive different ways of reality, if you see this person good and bad, maybe they are both. Maybe you're tapping into the different timelines. And this is just showing you that you are becoming truly multidimensional. So all of this here, I hope it makes sense. Now I want to go a little further. Let's blow our little minds a little bit more, okay? This is the collective timeline. We're splitting off a small part into 5D. But remember, a few people with a very high vibration make up for a lot of people with a very low vibration. So let's say that you are now here in this whole mess. The only thing that you have to do is focus on your own personal timeline. All right, you don't have to follow the collective down or up. You are part of the collective. So let's say you are this one person. Let's say, okay, let's do the red. Let's say you're one person and this is your timeline. And you decide to just focus on, okay, this is you, your personal timeline. You make a choice. What I'm looking at, when I'm looking at reality, I'm going to choose the highest timeline for me. What is the choice that I'm making right now that is bringing me higher into 5D? What can I look at around me? What makes me feel more strong, on one hand, more grounded, more sure of myself, more happy, more expanded, and more positive? What makes me feel that way? What can bring me into a higher state of positivity, of emotions, of being? And that's the timeline you choose. And each time you make that choice, you raise your vibration a little bit. And that's basically how you step into your own expanded self. Looking at things, not with such a closed mind, just being really open. I'm open, guys. If for example, this to trigger ourselves a little more, if suddenly, right, let's say Trump loses the election and Biden, Hillary, like that other fraction, let's say they win the election, and there's a timeline where they suddenly deny the cabal and they become positive and they start to get enlightened and they say, listen, we finally understand what's going on. We rebuke all the negativity and we will work for the forces of light. If that happens, if that's a timeline that's happening, I will be the first one to say, that's how it is. These people now are on the side of the forces of light. So if that timeline needs to happen, I'm open enough to accept it. I'm not going to say forever, these are draconian controlled people and these are the good people. We humans have the capacity to change our mind, to change our own future, to change our perception, to change our orientation. So I want you to be really, really open. You have to be open to all possibilities and choose the best timeline for you. Choose it every single day. Every choice you make is a choice to either go up or to go down. That's what it is. So if you get caught up into this in this negativity and say, no, but this happened in this way, you know, I have to go demonstrate on the streets right now, and the rioters are actually the good ones or they're the bad ones. You know, all these things, all these choices that you make, you have to ask yourself, is this choice, is this viewpoint promoting my ascension, or is it dragging me down this way? Boom. Where is it taking me? Where is this choice taking me? Can I open my mind to the extent to consciously choose the timelines, to consciously choose the reality you want to participate in? That's all you have to ask yourself. It's like, okay, this choice, this thought, this conversation, this action, is this bringing me up or is it bringing me down? Is it making me feel like absolute crap? going on and on and on? Can I course correct it? Or is this a choice that makes me feel, yes, makes me feel whole, makes me feel good, actually constructively builds me up? That's what you have to ask yourself. So let's say you're doing this. Another person is choosing another sub-timeline like this. Maybe believing something different, but for themselves it's good. Another person is doing this. So you see what happens? Many, many, many souls choosing positivity, rejecting negativity, rejecting the closed-mindedness, rejecting all the evil, horrible, negative things for themselves that they see, that they do, rejecting conversations that bring you down, rejecting participating in the destruction of the planet. I'm going to make another video exactly what 5D is actually like and how you can start living like a 5D person to actually become 5D. That's another video. This will get too long, right? So can you see what this is? These are different little choices and viewpoints that each of you is making, but it's all going that way. And this is starting, look at this, another one of you. You believe something slightly different, and you believe something slightly different. And look at that. A really thick, beautiful timeline of ascension is forming because you are the collective too, right? So this thick, beautiful timeline is forming because we're all extracting ourselves out of this whole mess. We are all standing clear and saying, no, this is what I stand for today and believe today because it's my highest timeline, but I see this and this and this and this. Tomorrow you're going to say, wait a minute, I'm going to course correct a little bit. This is my highest timeline. This makes me feel good. This heals me. This heals the planet. I feel this is the best. So you kind of step into that belief system and step onto that timeline, you see? So that's how you do it. That's how you can manage to go up and ascend. And I know it's hard, but you really have to be very open. You have to be vigilant. You have to be expanded. You have to really, not from down here, because many times, you know, a lot of these incidents, what do? Voom, voom. They go like this. Voom. Hello, you can hardly see me. Like, you see, if I'm down here, I can't see anything. I can't see any of these timelines. I can, right? I can't. When I'm down there, I have a very, very singular, very monotone point of view, right? Monodimensional. That's the third dimension. It's pretty monodimensional, right? So what we want is to be vigilant, to be open, not drive yourself too crazy. If everything that's happening in the world is driving you too crazy, just say, my highest timeline is sitting in the garden, looking at the butterflies, walking in the forest, talking to the birds, spending time with my family, making good food. If that is your highest timeline now, that's what you can do. And it's totally fine. Once in a while, looking at the news, saying, everything is going to be good. If that's your highest timeline, do it. Do it. All right? So that's how you can actually physically create that timeline going to 5D. And that's what's happening now. And the interesting thing is, as you make more and more positive choices for yourself, reality will actually split. It will. Maybe 10, 20, 30 years. You, in your personal timeline, will have separated yourself so much from the 3D timeline that you won't even perceive it anymore. Things will happen that are different. You know, this fall, the election, the big election, the United States of America, right? I know I'm not American, I'm Canadian, right? But, you know, the USA is a very huge focal point in the world. It is a leading point, it is a focal point. It's important what happens there. That's just how it is, right? So, what's going to happen this fall in the elections? The timelines are going to split again, maybe? What's going to happen? What timeline do you want to be on? So if you are in the States or anywhere in the world, why don't you focus on the best timeline? October, there may be a split, and I'm going to be on the highest timeline. Whatever happens there, for me in my life is going to be brilliant. Whatever happens there, I don't care what the news say. I'm going to go, I'm going to fly, I'm going to soar, I'm going to be so high in 5D that anything that may happen, or on that other timeline that may happen, is not going to affect me, because I'm on my own one. And whatever happens there is not going to affect me. Right now, get ready for that. Get ready for it. And don't worry, because it's your choice. You can choose. You can absolutely choose. And I'm not saying stick your head in the sand and pretend. This is different. This is different. This is being open, vigilant. And if you're still here, if you're down here somewhere, and you've had the runaround and you haven't been able to pull yourself up, now is the time, my friends, my beautiful Starseed family. You better get on that ascension path, that timeline now, right? We don't know where this is going. We don't know. This is just one scenario. Could be that the collective kind of continues like this, and then anyways goes up a little bit later, the whole collective. It could be, I don't know. You see? I don't know what's going to happen. But if the 3D main collective timeline that we collectively, you and me, are seeing now, if that does go down a little more, maybe before going up, or goes down completely, I don't want to be on it. I've had enough, honestly speaking. I've had enough, like, basta, that's it. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. And I want to go up. And I am in a 5D timeline. Like I said in the beginning, I mean, look what I have created for myself. I'm here. There's no corona. There's none of any of that stuff that's going on. It's not here in my life, even in my little town. I haven't really perceived much of it. In my own personal experience, things are as good as they've never been. I'm healthy. I'm doing well. I've never had such a big, beautiful patio that I can work on, that I can work in, that I can spend time every day. My relationships are getting better. I feel that right now, right here, I am here. I'm standing in this beautiful, sunny paradise day. Right? This is my 5D experience. As soon as I turn on the news, look what's happening. Okay, I'm very much standing. In that moment, I'm in 3D again, because I'm being pulled there. But I found a way to handle it. I can be here, and at the same time, right, I'm here, maybe somewhere here, but at the same time, I still perceive this. I'm still part of this too, but not sucked in. It's like a tornado. Think of it like this. We're in 5D, and the 3D tornadoes keep hitting. Boom, zoom, 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 zoom. You know the tornadoes, the twisters. Here's a twister. This is the 5G twister. This is like the pandemic twister, like. And they come close, and you got to navigate your way through. Remember the eye of the storm. Oh, there's another hit. Okay, there's another hit. I'm just gonna circumnavigate it. I see it. I see you. I understand it's going like this. I see all the perspectives, right? This one, because it's going round and round, but I'm not being sucked in. If you get too close, if you get too focused on it, like deer in the headlights, that's what it is, right? The 3D happenings, the hits are like headlights, and you're the deer, and you just, you can't see anything else. It's like, and you go in and boom, you're hit. Like the twister. Right? The pandemic twister. You're like hypnotized, and then when you get too close, it'll suck you in, and you'll be like that cow in Alice in Wonderland, I think it is. Like that cow that flies around and around in the twister, and you're like, whoa! You don't want that. You want to stay at a distance, observing it, mastering all of it from your expanded 5D point of view. And if I can do it, guys, you can, right? I'm no different than you. I'm just a starseed living my life. I came down here to help Mother Gaia now, to be one of those. So are you. Every single one of you is one of these, to help form another collective timeline so more people can see it and jump on it as well. That's what we're here for, right? And we can do it, and we are doing it. We are. And just to answer another question, I've been getting a lot of questions. I know a lot of you are following Cosmic Agency, Conversations with Swaru. where they have made a few videos about the cages, where they have made videos about the Galactic Federation really playing with us, not wanting to help us at all. That is a perspective that I do not agree with. I don't agree with it. For me, it's not true. From another perspective, it may be true, right? So I'm not saying that what she's saying is wrong. I'm just saying to put out a perspective like that so blatantly, I found it like very disturbing, honestly speaking, very disturbing. And I would never promote a perspective like that, because it's like, why would I say, oh look, we're here, this is our perspective, we're going down, we're all going down, the cabal's gonna win? Why would I say that? Why would I even think that? It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. This is a rubbish timeline. This is a rubbish timeline. These are all rubbish timelines. I don't want any part of that. That's rubbish, a rubbish timeline. I see it, but for me it's rubbish and I don't buy into it. This is where I'm going, and this is where you can go. This is where I stand, and this is where you can stand, right? Even if you're having a conversation, right? It's like you're down here in 3D. Oh, that person is so stupid. But you know, I will give them unconditional love. Oh, but they're so stupid. Oh no, unconditional love. You know, they have their viewpoint. But no, they're wrong. But maybe both are right. That's how you can do it. That's how you can stand in 3D and 5D. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to talk about exactly some things that you can physically do to step into 5D, to start living a 5D lifestyle. Because if you start living a 5D lifestyle, you'll accelerate, boom! You'll accelerate this process of moving up and ascending, right? So just to finish off here, I want you to look at your actual physical life, not what you see on the news, not what you've been, not all the stuff, just your physical life. Where are you right now? What are you experiencing? What 5D symptoms are you experiencing? Are you able to understand all of this? Are you able to look around and see the beauty? How have you experienced the pandemic? Was it really terrible? Was it okay? Was it as bad as what you've seen on the news? How was it for you, actually, physically? And start to recognize some of those 5D aspects of your life. Are you like me, actually, now in a place that is beautiful, with people that you love, that is safe? Do you have a lot of beautiful food in your house? Are you able to cook food for yourself? Are you able to sleep well and safely? Do you have flowers and beauty around you? What are you doing for a living? Analyze a few of those things and see if some of that is not you already having stepped into 5D. And a few days ago, I kind of looked around. I thought, this is 5D? I am in the 5th dimension. I mean, this is so different from where I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, working in an office, getting up, being part of the matrix. I can do whatever the heck I want. I can sleep long. I can make videos about what I want. I can have clients. I can go, I can come. I'm pretty much free. I'm not obliged to do anything. I've created my 5D paradise timeline already. I'm a good way on it. And I bet if you start thinking about and looking at all the blessings that you have in this crazy 3D world, I bet you can say, yes, yes, I am living the paradise matrix too. I am. This is a paradise matrix, I would say, aspect. This is one too, and this is one too. So look for them. Look for those points of little paradise pieces. Focus on them. Be grateful. Expand them. And that's part of ascending. That's part of the ascension process, okay? All right, so thank you so much. I love you all. Mwah. I hope this has made sense. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of it. Soon I will be coming out with a Starseed Origins course where I can teach you to tap into your soul, to tap into the Akashic records, to see who you are, to journey through the stars. Everything that I do, you can do too. I'm not so special or specific. We are all one. We are all the same. All right? Thank you so much. Love you all. Natasha, Cosmic